nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
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 There's only one reason why you can't stay disciplined. It's your belief. You don't believe it's worth trying. Imagine if every time you touched your keyboard, you'd make a shit ton of money in your business. You'd then believe that touching your keyboard and working is worth it. Or imagine if I gave you $1 million every time you woke up at 4 a.m. You'd then believe that waking up at 4 a.m. is worth it. You see, everything in life comes down to two things: pain versus reward. If you think that the pain is worth the reward, then you will do whatever it takes to go through the pain and get the reward. And you've probably heard this quote, "He who has a why can bear almost any how," which basically means that if you have enough reason to do something, you will do it. If you genuinely believe you'll get your reward, you will do whatever it takes to get it. I want to tell you the story of how my first ever business failed, and I remember this exact day. So back in 2022, I was running video game servers. So I was hosting video game servers. It was super exciting, video games, lots of dopamine. We had a massive dream for the company. We were going to take it from like one video game to taking over the entire space, putting a massive network, getting a massive community. We had a bunch of staff, bunch of players, bunch of followers. There were like 1,000 people in the Discord, and I was running everything. I had lots of motivation to work because I had all these people asking me to work harder so I can get the server up so they can play on it. And obviously, if you've got like hundreds of people pinging you every single day asking you to work, you're going to work and you're going to have a lot of motivation. So for a few months, I worked as hard as I could. I had all this motivation from all these people, and we actually ended up making a bit of money. I then dropped out of uni, I came back home, and I focused full time on this business. And again, working really hard, and we ended up making a little bit more money as well. So it was this one day in 2023 where I woke up super fucking motivated. I've just made some money. I've got tons of people in the Discord, in the communities, in the servers telling me, the servers are great, did an amazing job. They're fucking paying me to play on this shit as well. So I'm happy. I'm super motivated. And remember this exact morning. So I wake up, I go for a piss. I immediately start working, no distractions, no nothing. And back then I had to work on making the map. So, I get into flow state, I'm working for a few hours, and it feels fucking amazing. Because it feels like I'm working on something that's going to get me some results. And after a few hours of working in flow, I finish doing that. I go downstairs, get my 4 eggs, eat that. And as I'm eating it, I open up Discord for the first time today. And you know that feeling when you like smack your little cousin too hard, or you push over your sibling, or like you push your friend or something, and you start to feel guilty because you did something bad? We also start to get like a little bit sad and a little bit angry, thinking like, why the fuck is this like pussy just crying over there for no reason? That's exactly how I felt when I opened up Discord. I was reading all the messages that came through in the last like 12 hours, and everyone was talking about a new competitor. And they weren't shitting on the competitor. They were saying how much better it was than everything that I've done. You see, they had a team of staff that were like real coders, developers, modelers. They knew what the fuck they were doing. They had tons of cash, like all of the business owners or the owners of that server. They had like extra cash coming in. I think they were into crypto and all that shit. And I very quickly realized that everything that I've been working on is going to get completely fucking wiped out because I can't compete with them. The entirety of the last year, 365 days of my hard work was going to go completely to waste because me, a fucking solo retard, can't compete against like 20 full-time developers. You see, I'd been working on this business as a hobby for about like 4 years. And then last year, in 2022, 2023, I decided to turn it into a business and actually work on it like an entrepreneur. But all of that was about to go to waste. I stopped believing that any of my work was going to pay off or give me any sort of reward because someone else came in, someone better than me, came in, set a new standard, and I couldn't keep up with that anymore. I realized that if I wanted to get results, I'd have to work up here, just like they were doing, and I just couldn't keep that up. I wasn't that guy. Realistically, I could have learned the skills, I could have taken the time, I could have done the courses, I could have learned coding, I could have learned modeling and all this shit. But at the time, when someone came in to my world and completely destroyed it, instead of thinking of like, oh shit, what can I improve? I fucking crumbled, and I decided that everything was over. There was nothing I could do, and that was that. I got kind of depressed during that time because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to save myself from the situation. So instead of working and developing myself and getting better at all these skills, I just fell down this like dark rabbit hole. I just like sat in my own fucking misery. I just quit uni. I came home to work on this business full time, and these fuckers just came in and wiped me out like I was nothing. So my life, it just turned to shit very quickly because I realised that if I wanted to compete and if I wanted to get any sort of results, I'd have to go through so much more pain and so much more work to get any sort of reward. I had to outwork them, like a team of 10 developers that actually knew what the fuck they were doing, and I was just this one guy who kind of knew a little bit about a little bit. So at that time, I did not believe I could do that much work. I did not believe that I could outwork them or be better. And I did not believe that my work is going to get me any sort of results. In my mind, the pain became super high and the reward became super low because I thought they would just come in and steal all my shit. So instead of working, I just crumbled the fucking business. I let it fall apart. I quit and I moved on. And this is the problem that you're having. You don't believe that you'll get any reward for your effort. You don't believe that any work that you will do will pay off. You still think that you're going to fail. There's a part of you that still believes that like, fuck it, I'm not going to try. Someone else is going to come in and do way better than me. So why should I even bother? And along with that, there's this other voice in your head that keeps telling you that you're a fucking failure anyway. So it's like, it's okay if you don't try. You weren't going to win anyway. You're just the guy who keeps on failing. Don't bother, don't try, you're just going to fail anyway. But you have to understand that that's not true. It's just a voice in your head. It's just words that you think. Imagine there was a person who came up to you, and let's just say you were sat at the subway, and someone came up to you on the subway, like in underground train station, and they walk up to you and they say, hey bro, you can't walk anymore. And instead of listening to him, you stood up and you started to walk. His words didn't mean jack shit because they're just words. Someone just came up to you and said something and then you acted a different way anyway. It's the same thing with the voice in your head. Whatever it tells you, whatever happens, whatever kind of thoughts you have, they don't matter because you can still act differently. If someone tells me I can't walk, I'm not just going to listen to them and then never walk for the rest of my life. I'm just going to get up and fucking walk. Obviously, if you're in a wheelchair, then too bad, but I imagine none of you are in wheelchairs, or at least probably not anyway. That voice, those thoughts that keep telling you that you're a failure, that you're never going to win, that you shouldn't even try, that's your inner belief. That's what you unconsciously think about yourself. And so far, you unconsciously don't trust yourself. You unconsciously think that you're going to fail. In school, I had a friend when I was about 14, and this friend asked me to buy him a bottle of water from the canteen. So I give it to him, and he says that in return for the bottled water, he's going to give me some skins on Rocket League and give me like the fucking chromo wheels or whatever the fuck. And I thought that was a sick deal because, you know, I was playing Rocket League, everyone was playing Rocket League, and I wanted some cool skins. But this fucker never pays up. A few weeks go by, and this retard just doesn't give me my skins. So next time, when he asks me for a water again, and you know he's with his friends, and he comes up to me and asks me to buy him a water from the canteen, I don't buy him it because I don't trust him anymore, because he didn't hold up his end of the bargain last time. So instead of trusting him and having belief in him and going through with this deal, I just tell him to fuck off. Imagine if you had a friend and you let him borrow some money, and every time you saw him, he was meant to pay you back, but he doesn't pay you back. He just tells you like, oh bro, I'll pay you back next time. I'll pay you back next time. I'll pay you back next time. If he never pays you back, you will never trust that person ever again. You start thinking to yourself like, fuck that guy. He never holds up his end of the bargain. He's never going to pay me back. He's never going to give me anything in return. I don't trust him. I don't believe in him anymore. Fuck that guy. He's a dickhead. And the thing is, you and your brain have this exact same relationship. You've told your brain that you're going to do something 1,000 fucking times, probably hundreds of thousands of times, and you've never fulfilled your end of the bargain. You keep telling your brain like, yeah, today I'm gonna work for like 10 hours, I'm gonna do everything I need to do, I'm gonna go to the gym, meditate, cold shower, journal, read books, all this shit. And then you never end up fulfilling on that promise. And when you don't do the things that you said you were gonna do, when you don't fulfill on the deal that you had with your brain starts thinking to yourself, fuck this guy, he's a dickhead, he's never going to pay me back, I don't believe him anymore, this guy is a fraud, he's never going to fulfill on his deal, he's just not going to give me the thing that I wanted. Your brain stops believing in you because you failed so many promises. And then the next time when you try and work and you try and make progress towards something, instead of motivating you and reminding you of all the times that you've been successful and that you've fulfilled on your promise and that you've worked hard, instead, your brain would just bring up all the old memories of you failing, of you not working and not fulfilling your promises. And this is what happened when I was running that business. I kept having moments before I shut down the business where I actually did try and compete with them for a little bit. And I kept telling myself yeah, I'm going to outwork them. I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to learn all the skills. I'm going to do everything anyway. And then nothing would happen. My brain stopped believing that I could outwork anyone because I went through that period where I completely crumbled and I didn't push myself anymore. So my brain just stopped believing in me. So after I dropped the video game business, I started, starting multiple other businesses. I must have started 6 or 7 around that time. I remember copywriting, AI agency, affiliate marketing, and video editing, and something else. So I started all these businesses, but I kept dropping them month after month. And it was the same problem with every single business that I had started up until now. And it was the same problem with the video game business. I started them all with motivation because, bright, shiny objects, new business, let's go do that, that's going to be fun. And then I'd start to use discipline to get myself rolling and do the hard work when I didn't want to do it. But then I stopped working on them because I'd noticed a competitor who was working way harder than me and doing way more work than me. And my brain just shut down and said, you've done this before, and whenever a competitor comes out, you fucking crumble, you're never going to compete with them, just don't even bother, stop trying. And that's exactly what happened. I had a bitch mindset and I stopped myself from working because I didn't believe that I was going to keep up with anyone. The only thing that I really got lucky in my life at that time was that I came back home from uni and I started all these businesses. But when I came back home, I went back to my old boxing gym and I basically trained twice a day. I'd go to the boxing gym in the afternoon and I'd go to the weightlifting gym in the morning. The skill of discipline and the skill of hard work and doing stuff that you don't want to do got leveled up because every single day I had to push myself in the gym. I had to go for PRs in weightlifting and bodybuilding, and I had to push myself to spar, to go on the bags, to run and do all this shit in the afternoon in boxing. So I was constantly doing hard work. And the reason why I pushed myself and the reason why I believed it was worth it was because the pain was actually quite low, because I enjoyed pushing myself and the reward was super high. I believed that if I worked hard and if I pushed myself in the gym, in both the gyms, then I'd get more respect. And at that time, all I wanted was more respect from everyone around me. In my mind, I had the belief that if I leveled up my hard work skill, if I worked hard, and if I got better at boxing, and if I got bigger in the gym, then I'd get more respect. If I train hard, I will get more respect. That belief led me to just leveling myself up. And I want you to understand this, that working hard is a skill. Pushing yourself in the gym, or pushing yourself at boxing, or pushing yourself to work and sit on your laptop and type away, that is a skill. No one's born good at those things. This idea of talent and this idea that people are just born better than you at something is fucking bullshit. This fucking idea that talented people exist, or this guy's got just more talent than me, or this guy was just born with more talent, I don't have any talents, whatever. It's such a fucking poisonous concept. And it's just so retarded. I fucking hate talking to people who say they've got talent, or where they say I've got talent or anything. None of us have any fucking talent. And listen, even if we did, it doesn't serve you to believe that. It serves you to think that fuck it, no one's got any talent, everyone starts at zero, and we all have to work hard to get better at things. Think about it in a video game. You can start off, if you've ever played Project Zomboid, for example, you can start off and increase some of your skills in the beginning. But inside of the game, everybody can level up every fucking skill. So when you reach level 99 or whatever the fuck, the end of the game, everyone has max skills. It's just at the start, some people might start with higher skills. But we need to destroy that belief. You need to just delude yourself and believe that everyone has 0 skills at the beginning. That way, if you believe that everybody starts off with 0 skills, then everybody has to work hard to level themselves up. And that's all you have to do. That's a nice belief to have, because then all you have to do to improve is just work harder and improve that skill. Going back to Project Zomboid, if you started off with like strength 5 and your friend started off with like strength 0, it might take you less time to get to level 99, but your friend will get to level 99 regardless. If you can both get to level 99, then it doesn't matter where you start, it just matters that you have to get to the top. So what you have to understand is that everything is a skill and everything can be improved. Strength, or fucking the skill of fishing, or the skill of like cutting down wood, or the skill of like typing away on your laptop, whatever. Everything is a skill that can be improved. Even believing that you will succeed and believing that the pain is worth the reward is a skill. I told you about that friend who we made that deal on Rocket League and then he never paid me back. And from that day, I never believed him ever again. But the thing is, I had another friend who we had another similar deal and he did pay me back. And the thing is with this guy, he asked me for a £1 coin and he said he would give me a £1 coin and then he's going to pay me back tomorrow. So I gave him the £1 coin and then tomorrow, literally 24 hours later, he comes back and pays me double. I borrowed him a £1 coin and he gave me back 2 £1 coins. Now you can see what that does to my belief of this guy. I started to believe that whenever this guy needs some money, I'm just going to give him the money because he's good on his promise. My belief of him got leveled up because he started to show that he was trustworthy and that he would fulfill on his promises. And then for the next like few months, we did a few trades and like he asked for some money, he asked for some shit, and I'd always give it to him because he always paid me back. He leveled up his belief in my mind that whenever I traded with this guy, I always believed that he was going to pay me back. And every single time we did a deal and every single time he fulfilled on his promise and paid me back, my belief went up and I believed that he would pay me back even more. There was less doubts in my mind every single time we did a deal. So imagine if you told your brain that you were going to do like 5 minutes of work, only 5 minutes of work today, and then you fulfilled on that, and then you did like 10 minutes of work, your brain is going to have the same fucking reaction of like, oh shit, we did a deal with this guy, he said he was going to work for 5 minutes, and then we actually worked for 5 minutes. This guy's trustworthy, this guy is actually going to fulfill on his promises. And not only that, he doesn't fulfill on his promises, he did 2 times the fucking work that he said he was going to do. That's going to start to build up your belief skill in yourself and that unconscious belief that you actually fulfill on your promises. So the reason why you can't stay disciplined is that you don't believe that the pain is worth the reward, because it never has been, because you constantly tell yourself that you're going to do something, that you're going to go through the pain and then get the reward, and then you never have. But as soon as you start acting on your actual belief skill, and instead of saying like, I'm going to work for 10 hours a day, you say I'm going to work for 5 minutes a day, and then you fulfill on that, your belief is going to go up and you're going to start to believe that the pain is worth the reward. So all you have to do to become more disciplined is start to look at, okay, what is my belief? What do I actually believe I can do? And then fulfill on it. And obviously don't fucking, if you can work for 2 hours a day, but you keep telling yourself I'm going to work for 5 minutes a day and then fulfill on that, you're obviously not going to do jack shit. You need to keep pushing yourself a little bit more every time. You know how in the gym, if you want to get bigger, you need to progressively overload. This is the same thing with discipline and the same thing with your belief. Just progressively overload your belief about what kind of work you can do and the rewards that you can achieve. If you work for 5 minutes and then you do work for 5 minutes, then your next belief is like, oh shit, maybe I could do 6 minutes. And then just keep working that up until you fucking make a business or some shit, I don't know. Look, you can't stay disciplined if you don't believe that you're going to do the work, and you can't stay disciplined if you don't believe that the work is going to give you some sort of reward that you want. And going back to what we said before, there's 2 things in life, pain and reward. If the pain of achieving something is high, then you have to get good at working hard, level up your working hard skill, and level up your belief skill so that you believe that you will work through the pain. You need to have proof that you've worked hard before, and the reward for the pain needs to be high. It needs to be something that you actually want, something that you genuinely want to achieve. For example, there's no point in me running a marathon and then not achieving anything for it, because I don't care about a medal, or I don't care about my name or the achievement of running a marathon. I'd only do it if I was like raising money for a charity, or I'd like get $100,000 for completing the marathon, some shit. The reward has to be something that I actually want. I want to ask you a few questions now, because this is going to help you improve your belief skill and get better at the skill of believing in yourself. When was the last time that you recorded yourself actually achieving something? When was the last time that you recorded yourself like smashing a PR in the gym? Or when was the last time that you looked at a trophy that you won? Probably never. You've probably never recorded yourself doing something great, or looking at your trophies, or looking back on your accomplishments. You probably already have some achievements where you've gone through some sort of pain and you've achieved something, but you forget about it because you don't reflect on it. You don't look back on your achievements. You just achieve something and then you forget about it. You push it away for some reason. Realistically, for you, all you have to do is look back at all the achievements that you've had before and remind yourself and remind your brain that like, oh fuck, I did go through that pain and I did get the reward, so I could probably do it again. And if you're sat here thinking to yourself, like, I don't have that many achievements, I still kind of feel shit about the things that I can do, then you need to start recording your achievement. Record your PRs in the gym, record your success in your business, record you achieving something great outside of it. Anytime you do something, anytime you have some sort of achievement, make a note of it, write it in a journal, get it on your phone, do anything that you can, so that anytime that you start to feel shit about yourself, anytime that you're working on your business and you start thinking to yourself like, fuck man, this shit is just not working, I don't want to do it anymore, every time I've tried anything, I've always failed, you can start to believe that that's not true, because you just go on your phone, you go into your camera gallery and you look like, oh shit, I hit that PR like 2 weeks ago, that was good, I went through some pain and I got something. Or like you look at your PayPal screenshots or like your Stripe screenshots and you click on it and you're like, oh fuck, my business did make some money, I did actually do something. You start to reinforce that belief that the pain was worth the reward. You went through the pain and then you achieved something and it was worth it. I recorded my body transformation from the time I first set foot in a gym. I got lucky enough to get my first kickboxing fight recorded, and it was actually streamed live as well. And now I record all of my powerlifting squats and basically any PRs that I try and hit in the gym. I also journal about all of my decisions and all the things that I've achieved, or all the things that I haven't achieved in like this journal that I keep, and I basically do it like every few days. And that way, any time that I feel shit about the progress I'm not making, I look back on the progress that I have made before and remind myself that like, oh fuck, I did go through that pain and I did get that reward. That means that the pain was worth the reward. It also boosts my ego, because anytime I tell myself that I'm this disciplined guy and I work hard and I achieve these things, looking back on that proof, it reinforces that I say I am who I say I am. That I am who I say I am. Yeah, that makes sense. And the thing is, if you constantly have proof that you are disciplined, how could you ever go back to not being disciplined? You constantly reinforce this idea in your head by going back through your achievements. So like, oh fuck, yeah, I did work that time and I was disciplined and then I got this reward. I am pretty disciplined. How could you ever go back to an old lifestyle of playing video games and doing all this shit? When you are the disciplined guy and you constantly remind yourself of being disciplined and things that you did while you were disciplined, then you're just going to continue living like that, because there's no other way to live. Like, I just want you to imagine the Dagestani fucking Khabib Nurmagomedov and all those motherfuckers, like Islam Makhachev, whatever. It's very hard for them to go out partying and then fuck up their lifestyles if they live in the fucking Dagestan mountains and train every single day. There is no other way for them to live. And there's no other way for you to live if all you do is, at the end of the day, you look back through all of your achievements and you look back at all the times that you were disciplined and you remind yourself like, fuck, yeah, I was disciplined, I did work really hard, and I've got all these achievements. And once you start like piling up money, or you have like kickboxing wins, you can start looking through them and think like, yeah man, fuck this, like I am who I say I am disciplined, I do all this work. Your belief skill fucking skyrockets, and then you can believe that being disciplined is worth it. Hopefully you understand this video and you understand that it's not this gay fucking advice of like, yeah guys, just believe in yourself, have some self-belief. It's not that. It's the act of leveling up your working hard skill and your belief skill by actually making deals with your brain, saying you're going to work for X amount of minutes and recording your wins and then looking back on it. Life is just a video game where you start off with a bunch of skills and the ability to level up any single one of them. And all you have to do to win is just grind it the fuck out and level up whichever skills you want to level up. And that's usually belief and working hard, because those two are the only ones that you need to achieve anything else. If this video of me yapping for a few minutes was helpful, then my program is going to be way more helpful. Just check it out, first link in the description. And if you don't want to check it out, then click and watch that. Goodbye.